When I look at the circumstances around, within the country in terms of politicking, I kind of...
What scares you the most? Is it the money?
The money is also important.
Money is a global reality.
The money is important, but that may not really be. But the intricacies of even getting in, having your godfather, having there's so many issues at stake that, just the little fact that you have to visit so many people to be able to get an audience.
Look,
that's a global reality.
But you have not even experienced it. Is it true that people visit many people?
It's part of politics. We must come to that point where we realize that politics in itself, that's why we call it political science. It's a body of study. You need to go in there and see how it works. It's not just to complain from the outside. And when you get here and see how it works, then you begin to appreciate the things that you need to do. Basically, it's not, yes, you have to visit people, because in every structure, there are people that hold the structure.
Nigeria is not an exceptionalism when it comes to money or going to meet people in politics. It's a global phenomenon. The difference with Nigeria, where Nigeria is exceptional, is the kind of conversations you have when you meet them. For instance, in Nigeria, when you meet them, you have to drop something, you have to solve financial problems, somebody's school fees, somebody's hungry, somebody's rent. That's why Nigeria is different. With respect to the spending, Nigeria is different because in other places, you spend money for your structure, you spend money for your volunteers, you spend money for your ads, to create ads, to engage.
Yeah, you spend money on rice and
yeah, you have to feed people, you have to put, it's a lot of, and it doesn't make sense because that transaction, people are going to have to pay back when you get into office, one way or the other. On the other side, it's a different kind of transaction because it's not transactional.
So is this baby politics because we are young? Although we've had, for example, progressive, like you say, have been here since times Credim, more than 100 years. Right?
You can't separate the political culture from the culture that is prevalent in the entire society.
What's our culture?
Very good. In the Yoruba culture, if I go to visit an elderly man, it is expected that I don't go empty-handed.
Kola nut is okay.
Well, kola nut is also could be printed.
Excuse me?
Okay, it's a cultural thing. You don't go empty-handed.
What are the implications of that?
It's a poverty thing. It's a poverty thing more than a cultural thing.
What are the implications of that? If, for example, in running, you spent your personal money to do all of this. Yes. How did you get the money? Now, how are you recouping the money you spent?
To a large extent, when I came out to run, people bought into my vision. The same way I met you, I walked up in the restaurant, I said, hey, good idea. And I had so many friends that bought into it. Okay. From the very first day, I can never forget, a friend from Atlanta that I've not seen in a while sent 20,000 naira into my campaign account.
20,000 naira.
20,000 naira.
Only. What can that one
buy?
No,
as in the very first day.
They won. That must have inspired.
People kept giving money to the camp because they felt that, oh, you're different, you're running for local government, they saw the plans. Yes, so people started giving to the campaign, and that was the money we were using to fund the campaign.
But you didn't get to the primaries.
Yes, I didn't. But like I say, it's a marathon that I didn't get it this time around. For as long as I did not give up, as at that time, I kept at it. I'm still at it. Opportunity is going to open up one day, and I'll have my day.
Those guys that will say have spoiled this country, at least they are committed to spoiling it. Those that say they care to fixing the country are always very quick to check out of whatever they are doing to make that change happen. It's a marathon, and when we say marathon, it doesn't mean, because what happens is 2 years to election, somebody comes to you, what are we doing about 2019? Please, don't talk to me about that. Let's talk about Nigeria as a country. Let's talk about the future.
So we are all having this short-term mentality.
Yes.
And so, but see, is it too late to start?
And we do it over and again. It's never too late to start if you think long-term, of course. But with respect to 2019, for instance, of course it's too late to start. The elections have been won and lost already 10 months to the election. I can tell you that for free. Those that will win are almost winning. Those that will lose have almost lost. He would know. But with respect to fixing Nigeria, with respect to politics in Nigeria, it's never too late to get in. But if you're thinking election, of course, 2023 might almost be too late for some people because there are certain things you need to get doing already.
So what would you tell someone like Ify now, or just someone that's just thinking there, I think I'm going to throw my card in?
No, at all, you shouldn't. For me, what really, bothers me is the level of political participation. We talk a lot, but we really don't get into the nitty-gritty. Let me give you some figures.
What is nitty-gritty?
In 2015, Lagos, with a population of over 20 million people, over 6 million registered voters, less than 2 million voted in the presidential election. That's just about 30%. And you keep wondering, with all this noise we make on social media, you mean on election day, only 30% came out to vote. And the figures are not different if you go back to 2011, probably even worse. 25% voted presidential election. Then we ask ourselves, how do you want things to change? If on election, just on election, let's not even talk about party membership. If on election day you can't get out of the comfort of your living room and go and vote, they'll tell you, I'm sitting in the sun for 2 hours, I beg you, I'm going, no. We should stick with it. If we believe we want to change Nigeria, we must also realize that there's a price to pay.
We have to sacrifice.
There's a price
but
to
you know,
pay.
I mean, I think if he should comment on this one. The question is, we've gone to vote a lot of times. People hear things about your vote doesn't really matter. And you're going there, you're going to sweat. Then what's the point, right?
No, but I really think that the vote, your voting really counts and it matters. It does matter.
Even if somebody's
In
gonna
fact,
cut it away.
your presence there at the polling booths makes a whole lot of difference. Because having witnessed several, elections over the years, you could see that and everything can never be perfect, but your presence there could make a remarkable difference in terms of the counting, in terms of the logistics, in terms of help. We're not yet there. Remember, we're still a third world country. So many logistics issues, and you can actually prefer solution. In fact, there's an instance whereby we had youth corps members that was within my own district. I fed them throughout the time. I took it upon myself because I felt that sitting down for that long, after a while they become edgy. But when they've had food, they've had drink, they are relaxed, they are waiting to count, they are happy, and they are doing the work.
So they won't collect the politicians' food because you fed them. But you see, I mean, Omojuwa said that the elections have already been won and lost. Isn't that discouraging?
No, I don't want that to be perceived in that way. I'm speaking to those that want to get in.
Yes.
Like if I want to run for office, this needs to be made
party have
clear.
already
If I want
decided.
to run for office in 2019, it's really too late for me.
Serious about
But it's not too late for the voter to decide who wins or who loses. But the structural reality of who to meet in terms of all the, depending on what election you're having, all the travels, first of all, even whether registering a new party, whether joining the party, you have to touch lives. People have to see that you're doing that thing you want to do in politics
But if
outside
so
of
much
politics.
infrastructure, I mean, borrowing from the current Ekiti state governor, because it does work. If so much infrastructure is what matters, then, or godfatherism, then it can happen. Even 10 months.
Even that needs a process.
That's a tall order.
So anybody who's
Ten
coming
months-
out now to say he's running for office is wasting his time.
He's not wasting his time. He or she is not wasting his time because if you think about the fact that you're always going to be around, like he said, then you have a chance. But you've got to start as soon as you need to start.
Okay,
in terms of
if you're just running because you want to be president or governor or whatever in 2019,
you look like a
then
joker.
you look like a joker. Because if you don't get it, do you quit?
A long time. And it's not just a Nigerian thing. Look, all over the world, there are situations where people have had to run again to even win. Not necessarily the same position. Even the president had to run 3 times, and then somehow fate and everything happened, and he finally got to win. This game is a long-term game. Like most things in life, really. You've got to stick to it.
Most
Persistence
things
is essential.
in life that matter, it's a long-term game. It's not one big, right?
Politics matter. It affects everything you do.
That's what I'm saying.
she's saying.
Until we realize that it matters who we put there, that sometimes you
And
can
it
make
also
a
has to be
mistake,
emphasized.
which means, for example, this whole talk of who's going to be there, who's not going to be there, I want us to round up now by saying, what kind of picture do you see happening? And this is not a party level thing. In 2019, how will Nigerians vote? How should they vote? Okay, let's start.
But you know, I'll be partisan. So
Well, I will challenge you.
they should vote for continuity. They shouldn't give up on the change that they voted for in 2015, based on the fact that in Nigeria, you actually need 2 terms, really, if you're going to change the entire system.
Okay.
And that's the journey we're on. We started in 2015. We've laid certain foundation. Give us a chance. You will see the fruit 2023.
So people should vote continuity. What would you say people should vote for?
Okay, that's a bit...
How should they vote? It's not a function of party now.
For me, vote for what you believe in. If you don't believe in it, don't go for it. Don't give it a second chance if you don't believe in it. But if you believe in it and you believe strongly that the strategies are right, everything is going in the right direction, go for it. But right now, like he said, that if you want to go in at this time, it's done and decided. I would differ on that because even as we speak, I do not know the number of people that are coming out, even without my own locality. So it's not cast you know, or in stone.
So they should introduce themselves to us.
Exactly.
We can still vote that way.
We still need to know you.
I think I need to make that clear that that's not for the voter. I'm saying if you want to run for office, you've got to get in because every day you're losing. It's 10 months. It's less than 10 months really to the elections now. For me, how should people vote? I think depending on whether the incumbent is running, whether for governor or for president, for whatever office.
Whatever level it is.
Whether the incumbent is running or not, there are two major questions the election is going to be asking you. The first question is, this incumbent, does this person deserve to continue a second term? If that person deserves to continue, then you vote for the person. But it's not one question. The other question is, if that person doesn't deserve to get it, you have to ask yourself, who deserves it? Because I think in 2015, we answered, in my opinion, one question. Does this person deserve to get it? No, go. We really didn't ask the question as to, so who deserves to get it? Because I think that happened by default.
So we're hoping that there'll be a deserving... But for me, I mean, you guys can either disagree or agree. It's a question of knowing what your rights are, knowing what you can do with your votes. And if you're running, you guys have clearly said, the chances are you may not get there. Chances, right? But it could happen. If it doesn't happen, do the Obafemi George way. Stick at it.